it's Kristin, and I have part 2 of my total rehaul from April. For those of you that may have missed part 1, I'll stick it in a card here, I'll link it below as well. There was just a lot of products in there. This was my trip out to New York City, and I had a lot of things that I purchased there. And so yeah, if you're new to a total rehaul, first of all, welcome. Second of all, this is a video where I go back, take a look at products that I've purchased, and come back to you and tell you maybe I haven't used them. Did I use them, but they didn't make it into a favorites or a fails, or just exactly what the deal is with those products. So let's go ahead and get started. And I have, like I said, I've received feedback that you much prefer me to do these sooner rather than later, so I'm trying to be better about that. All right, so picking up where we left off in the last one, there's some drugstore products that I picked up that I don't have access to here. And one of them was this color Prevails palette. So this is sold at Walgreens, I don't think CVS, I think just Walgreens or Duane Reade is where I purchased this. We don't have a Duane Reade here. And my Walgreens for some reason doesn't carry some of those different brands. So I think this is the Circa, or no, the color Prevails, I think, is that Eva Mendes's line, or is that Circa? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. So I like this palette. It's kind of clunky, like it's not super travel friendly. There are 8 shades in there, and they are very nice. They wear well. They don't crease much at all. There's the top 4 right there. And I do really like them. This palette is not a standalone palette. Not that a palette has to be, but it does not have a transition color. And you can use chalk, which is that shade right here, as brow bone, and that works really well. Oops, sorry. There you go. Those are the 4 there. So it is a very nice palette. I don't think it's standalone so much as you don't need anything else. You have to kind of add a transition shade in there. But other than that, so I've gone back and forth on doing a 4 Looks 1 palette with this. I just haven't decided yet. Mostly because not a lot of people have access to it. I kind of have that situation with another one here that I'm going to talk about in a minute. It comes with a little brush that, while it's not, you could do an eye look with this. It might take you 10 years to do it, but it does work really well for beneath the lower lash line. And again, those are the shades. I love this shade right here, and this one right here is really relatively unique. So very, very pretty. The next 2 shadows were from Circa, and they were these single shadows like this. One was an animated, one was an exceptional. This is one an animated. Exceptional was a pretty kind of burgundy wine sort of shade, but it shattered on me. And this one, you can kind of see, is started to have some issues there as well. They're very soft, very nice, very blendable. There they are, or there it is, I should say. And I like it. I've worn it a lot as like kind of beneath the lower lash. I shouldn't say a lot. I've worn it a few times beneath my lower lash line, and I do like it. I also have worn it kind of as an accent in the crease. All right, the next single eyeshadow, I've had this in favorites. Other people have bought it and have loved it. So it's just one of those shades that just is yummy. And it's by Galactic. Sorry, that's what the packaging looks like. And I bought this in the Duane Reade as well. This is more of a mid-range price range though. And this is in the shade Penny. Oh, it's just, I think a good kind of bronzy, warm brown shade is right up there with a taupe for me, and that is Penny. I mean, it's just delightful. I would love to see the Galactic line more. There isn't any place where I can go see and touch and feel, and I think it's hard even to find to buy online, but it is delightful. All right, so I have a couple of fails from the drugstore. This is the Covergirl Queen quads. I have the one in Brass and Sassy, which looks like that. And then also the one in Desert Bronze. So my issue is just with these is that they just don't have a ton of pigmentation. And I have seen, like I've seen Emily talk about this one, I think this one in Brass and Sassy. And she really likes it. And I just wonder if hers is like a different formula. Like maybe they've changed the formula. That blue, do you see? It's just like, that's just not what I wanted them to be, especially like this shade right here. I mean, these 2 shades together is such a pretty combination, and those kind of remind me of 2 shades from The Happy Place from Bare Minerals, but so I wasn't impressed with that. And then this is the other one here. So, so this shade right here, that is that. Just not what I was hoping for. And there they are right there. So these were not a win. They were not a win. I was really bummed about that. I wanted them to be so much better. Now something was new for me, and I'm trying to stop myself from buying more of these because I don't need any more. But this is the Milani, and I think I had this in the favorites. The Milani palette in Earthy Elements. These are so good, you guys. I'm just gonna try to swatch a couple of these here. So there are some of the, actually I'll just get them all on my hand for you. I mean, to compare those two, and I think this was $10 maybe, if I remember right. Might have been less than that. I think it's at my Walmart now, so I'm gonna have to check that out. There are all the shades there, and then the lightest one is there, not that you can really see, but this is really, really, really nice. I'm really impressed with this. The formula, they blend well, they last. Really, really impressed with that. Anyway, I'm sitting up closer in the camera in this video. I'm just trying something new. You'll have to let me know what you think about that, by the way. All right, so I've talked about this a couple of times. This is the Pop Beauty Pure Pigment in Matte Green. This is just a really pretty, tealy, minty, I'm not really sure how to describe it. There it is. Shade, and I was so impressed with this. And I will tell you this. We swatched, when we were there, David and I, we swatched a bunch of them that looked like this. And the only one that had really good pigment, from what we could tell anyway, was this one. And I've worn this all over the lid by itself, believe it or not, with, you know, blended out with a few things. I've worn it beneath my lower lash line. I've wet it and used it as a liner for something different. Works really well. I was really pleased with that purchase. It was a step out for me, but I was pleased with the purchase. And then two things that, I don't know, I go back and forth on these, you guys. So these were the CoverGirl Queen Collection, and they actually are the Colorlicious lip glosses in Plumberry and Starlet Sand. So this is Plumberry, this is Starlet Sand. I have Starlet Sand over a lipstick that I'm wearing, I'll tell you about here in a second. And there's not a ton of pigment to them, but I have to say, I really like how they feel on the lips. I like what they just do to add a little something. So I think that there are glosses in your collection that are ones you like to wear on their own, and then there's glosses in your collection that are good toppers, and these are good toppers. Hopefully that makes some sense. So that's the Starlet Sand, and then that is the Plumberry. So originally, I think I even talked about these in a video at some point. I was like, maybe when I hauled them, I was like, I'm not super impressed with them, but I have worn them more often than I thought I would since that video, and I really have enjoyed them. So then the lipsticks that I purchased on this, and this was like kind of a drugstore section, obviously. This was still at Duane Reade, was 3 of the Milani lipsticks. And now, up until very recently, I didn't have access to these. They are now in our Walmart. So the one that I'm wearing on my lips today is a really good sort of go-to, wears with everything. And I love this formula. It is a very nice formula. I know why everybody talks about it now. So that's the one in Plumrose, it is? Yeah, Plumrose. So that's what I have on my lips today. And I have worn each of these once, but not just because I wanted to make sure that I liked the formula. And this is the one in Ruby Valentine right there. And these don't bleed or anything. And this is the one in Matte Kiss. And I like this one in Matte Kiss. It actually is a very comfortable matte. And I didn't find it bled on me. I didn't find that it wore as long as some of my other reds, but again, you can kind of see the gloss in the first two, and then that one is very matte. But I will wear this more probably come, you know, winter and holidays and that sort of thing. All right, so we come to the one and I think only thing that I didn't use out of my items here. And this is the polish in, I said that funny. This is the nail polish from Essie in Petal Pusher. I remember saying how I really wanted a Dove Gray. I'm not sure, there's a little bit of glare I'm not used to right now. But I was convinced I needed a Dove Gray, and then I haven't worn it. So I actually have been doing a lot of gels on my nails, and I think this fall I may actually go back to having them just fill, and then I may kind of try to play with some of my own polishes. We'll see. Just kind of is a time thing. Sometimes it's nice to know that your nails are just going to look good for 2 weeks. All right, let's see. Okay, so the next thing was something that you guys have heard me talk about quite a bit since I purchased it. I absolutely love this highlighter. I'm not wearing it today, but this is by Clio. So I had gone into this little store called Club Clio, and they do have a website, and I have linked it anytime I've talked about these products, but they don't have swatches or anything, so it's kind of tricky to figure out, you know, what the other shades and other things would look like, but they also have shown up on Haute Look since then. So anyway, this is the highlight in Pearl White, number 1. And I just, it's hard for me really to explain what I love. I know a lot of you got this when it was on Haute Look. Hopefully you guys can see there. It's just so pretty. If you are, you know, paler, kind of probably NW25 and lighter, this is just going to be stunning on you. It wears so well. The packaging is gorgeous. Ooh, as I drop it. I just, so pleased with that. Then there were 2, what they called the Holy Deep Jewel Pot. I don't know why. There was one in Be Jealous and one in Be Trendy. And I know that the couple of times that I've talked about these, they have not been online. So well, I shouldn't say it. Maybe the first time they were and then they weren't the second time. I'm not really sure. But here's the one in Be Trendy. And these look like this. They're kind of, they have a little top on them. I'll show you the other one in a second when I open it. And they're kind of that creamy sort of L'Oreal Infallible sort of thing. That, and you can see there's, if you look really closely, there is some glitter, but it really shows more like sheen on your skin. Put it on your eyeballs, not on your skin. It doesn't really show up like glitter. And then the other shade is in Be Jealousy. So again, here's what it looks like with the little stopper in it, just like an Eyes to Kill or a L'Oreal Infallible. There's that one. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Melon Pigment from MAC. Might have more orange in it than that, but there's that one. Of the 2, Be Trendy is, no, let me say it, let me make sure I say it right. Yes, of the 2, Be Trendy is absolutely my favorite. I've worn that a ton more. I think I've only worn this one just a couple of times. But it just was fun to go into that store and try something new, something that you haven't heard all over YouTube. Not that it's bad to, you know, try the things you hear all over YouTube, but you know what I'm saying. I want to try something different. I was just wiping those off of my hand and they almost like stain. You can still see where that is. All right, and then I'm all over the place today. The next thing was the Gel Presso Waterproof Pencil Gel Eyeliners. And I had gotten the one in Golden Khaki and Bloody Devil. So those are these 2 shades right here. And I've worn the Golden Khaki more than I've worn the Bloody Devil, but I love it. The time I was shopping, as I said, with David and then also with my friend Paul, and he had pulled these out and he said, well, what about these? So that's the Golden Khaki and then that's the Bloody Devil. And I love these. They're so nice. When Club Clio was on Haute Look. I'm not really sure which it actually is, Clio or Club Clio, but at any rate, when they were on Haute Look, they had a bunch of different shades, those 2, and then they also had some other. So the other shades that I picked up, and I just showed these recently, so I won't bore you with them, but I picked up a purple that has Star Purple, Chic Navy, and Dark Choco. Aside from the Bloody Devil one, these 4 do have a little bit of almost like glitter in them, but I don't feel like, you can see it on the pencil itself, but you don't really see it when you look up close at them. So anyway, just thought I'd mention that because somebody had asked me a while back about the glitter in them. And as I'm trying to rub them off of here, they weren't even on there that long. They really do stay. They stay really well in the waterline. They still stay well on upper lash line, lower lash line. I feel like I have run those through a lot of tests and they stand up to everything. Right. So now we move on to the things that I purchased at IMATS. And I was at the Beautylish booth and I purchased the Natasha Denona palette, and this is the one in Blue Purple. So I go back and forth on this. Do I like them? Yes. Are they must-haves and worth the price tag? I don't think so. They're very nice and they wear well and they have great pigmentation. And I'm just going to choose a couple of them. I don't know. There are 3 of them that I just happened to randomly pick. And they are nice, but I will show you this. If you get too much, do you see this? It's almost sort of crumbly, but I mean, the payoff is very nice. The payoff is very nice, but I don't know. I kind of regret this. To be honest, what's funny is that I put it on Instagram, like to sell it, and then I didn't really hear anything from anybody, and then I took it off because I was like, you know what, maybe I don't want to sell it. And I don't know. I don't love this. And I'm kind of bummed that I have it and that I paid as much money for it as I did. I mean, that's the brutal, honest truth. I know that I have makeup artist friends that love this and swear by it and think that it's the cat's meow. And I'm not saying that it's not, but I'm saying I wish I hadn't purchased it. There you go. There's the brutal honest truth from Kristin Gehm. Oh boy. All right, so on to something I do not regret. Not even one teeny tiny little bit. And that is the By Terry, oh, here we go. Sun Design Palette, Light and Tan Vibes. I've talked about this a bunch. I did a video on how I use this for my whole face, including my eyes. I will link that below or in a card or whatever. This is just, it's just, I have this on my cheeks today. Just this part, I didn't use the bronzer today. I just love this. I love this. Had to plug my battery in because my camera's old. My battery just doesn't last like it used to. Anyway, this is totally worth, I think that it's worth every single penny. You will never ever hear me say to you, you need this or you have to buy this. And I'm not saying that now either. I'm just saying that I really like this. I am very pleased with this purchase. I know it's expensive. It's limited edition. So if it is something you've been interested in, you know, just maybe give it a second look, but I really like it. I found the quality to be great. It blends so well on the skin. I've talked about it enough that I won't get into it again, but again, I'll link that video and you guys can check out what I have to say there. Also at IMATS, when I was wandering around with Jen from Jen Loves Reviews, I'll link her if you are not familiar with her. She was on the mission to find this palette and I hadn't heard anything about it. I really didn't know anything about Violet Voss, and now you're hearing about this company a little bit more because I think somebody named Laura Lee did a collab with them. So I'm not familiar with her, but so anyway, this is the Holy Grail palette. This is a very beautiful, very warm. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today palette. I don't know if this is a permanent palette. I want to research that because I've definitely thought about doing a 4 Looks 1 palette with this. I've kind of gone back and forth on that. If it's something that is available and people would want to see, then I will, but I'm not sure. We will see whether I end up doing 4 Looks 1 palette with that. I do really like this palette though. The quality is nice. I find that they blend well. The longevity is fairly good. It's not as good as some others, but it's fairly good. I'll just kind of give you a couple swatches here so you can see. Let's see. I picked 2 shimmers and 2 mattes. So like I said, I do really like this. I think that the quality is nice. And so there's 2 shimmers and 2 mattes. Really, really nice. I've enjoyed playing with it a lot, actually. I don't know that I've worn it on camera now that I think about it until today. But again, it is very warm. This is the reason that I haven't bought the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, because I feel like a lot of those colors are in here. So anyway, I do like this. I'm still happy that I purchased it. I did purchase the Natasha Denona lip glaze in Plum, and I showed in that video the brush was all wonky. It was like sticking all over the place, so I ended up returning that. They didn't have any in stock at the time, so I didn't replace it. And then lastly were some brushes that I purchased, and these are from Smith Cosmetics, and they, I believe, are a Canadian company. And so what the brushes that I picked were ones that I kind of felt were unique. So this one is their foundation brush. I shouldn't say their foundation. They may have more than one in number 115. And this is nice. I don't love this. It's very small and I have to have a lot of patience, and I don't always have a lot of patience with that. But I love the construction of the brushes. I love how they look. I feel like they're nice, good quality. This one was the number 230. It's kind of a smaller sort of crease brush. I'm going to show you some other sort of size so you can see. This is the MAC 221, the MAC 226, and then this is the Smith one. So you can kind of get the idea of the size of it. And this is very nice. It's a little more pointed than the 221, so it's more similar to a 226. And it works really well for some sort of precise blending in your crease. I don't love it, quite frankly. And then there are 2 brushes, the 225 and the 256. They're kind of like arrowheady, sort of. I think that's what they called them. And I don't get this. You can kind of like color and then turn it and then sort of blend in your crease with that point, and you'll get that point right in your crease. But it doesn't blend as well because it's, you know, when you turn it like that, it's pretty, you know, you're turning it like this, so it's pretty narrow. I kind of like this smaller one for inner corner work, so you don't get it all the way in your inner corner work, but I don't know. They weren't as unique. Well, they are unique, but they weren't as user-friendly as I thought they would be. I like, again, the brushes are good quality. I wish I would have picked different brushes so that I would have the ability to kind of use them more. All right, my friends, so that is everything. I think I have told you everything that's on my face. I have Violet Voss on my eyes, the By Terry on my cheeks, and then the Milani with the CoverGirl over top of it on my lips. So if you guys enjoyed this and you found it helpful, again, if you missed part 1, I will link that somewhere around here, and I will link it somewhere below so that you can find that. And I think that is everything. So thank you again for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye.